But since this will likely become a YouTube video as well, I'd like to react to the persistent entity streaming replication layer and beyond server meshing panel. So they debuted it yesterday. It was incredible, and I really want to take the time and pause and take everything in from this event because it was awesome.
Right. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
So, persistent entity streaming, replication layer, and beyond. My name is Paul Reindel. I'm Director for Online Technology. And I'm going to show you a little bit insight in our technology for persistent entity streaming and the replication layer. I thought about what's the best way to show you something about that tech. And I thought about putting some technical drawings on the slides, or maybe show video.
They like did all that stuff last time.
But really, the best way to show you how persistent entity streaming works is to give you a live demonstration. And that's what I'm going to do. All right.
Let's go. And they just get right into it, which is pretty cool.
So this will all be live, so please bear with me if there's any glitches.
They really didn't, like, screw around. This is Paul Reindel, who's been at the company, correct me if I'm wrong, like basically since day one of the original employees, and has been building out this system from the very, very, very beginning. Like the architect of the idea of what server meshing would be for Star Citizen has always been from Paul, is my understanding about everything. Like, the faith that Chris had to put into this man and others are, well, yeah, like Paul and the people around him, Clive, Benoit, right? The faith, like, he put a lot of faith in them. And guess what? They didn't deliver for many years, right? And honestly, you know, made Chris look bad by not delivering in the time line that Chris set. Was it Chris that set those? Was it Paul that set those? Nobody knows, right? Somebody made somebody look bad for a lot of years. But today, nobody looked bad, right? Today is a new day.
I think I'm supposed
this was
to
different.
Press the button. No, it's already switched. Before we start, a little bit, I just give you a little bit an overview what you see here. Let me set up everything.
Paul came with Crytek, yeah. Today proved the dream was a reality.
One moment.
It could be. Yeah.
So on this left side, you will see my client window.
So he goes a bit
on the bottom
PS
side,
and stuff for a while here, right?
You will see the server renderer. So for this demonstration, and I start a second client, I'm just
Crytek. Okay, guys. Okay.
Sorry about that.
Okay. Spam the emotes some more. Feel good about yourselves.
Right. So again, on this side, you see the client. And he
I'm
just
not embarrassed. I'm an emotional guy.
So let's do this again. One more time.
Real men cry. All right?
On this side, you see the server renderer, which is currently,
hey, Trimbuco, what's
it
up?
Has nothing streamed in. I'm showing a small demonstration level. And on this side, you see the entity graph, which is our online database. That's powering what you see in persistent entity streaming, what you play since 3.18. And I also have some metrics on the screen, which shows the entity graph worker, the requests per minute, per second, the mutations, and you also will see entities created and destroyed once I do that. All right, so let's wait for my client to come up and join this level. So the first thing that will happen when I join this level, you will see on that server, everything streams in, and my client gets connected and also streams in everything on the...
First doubt is the gray box, right? You're like, all right, but can you do this at the fidelity of Star Citizen? Was like the first thing that came to mind. I was like, ooh, That was very, yeah, I'll move my cam to the right because it's a little less showy of things over there, right? Because the bottom left's very important. When they spawned everything in, I was kind of like, okay, gray box. Does that matter? I don't know. But that's the first thing that comes to my mind.
The client view. What would happen on this?
If gray box doesn't matter, why wasn't it in like a really nice looking level then? And I think that's maybe why Jared pointed out at the beginning that this was all made by developers and things like that, because that's not what these guys do, right? That the level design team would have made it look really nice because that's what they do. This was the tech team that doesn't do that shit. So let's throw some boxes in here and spawn some things in, right? That's it. So just to make it clear to everybody, I had that initial thought process and other people reminded me of this later on. So it's just programmer art. It isn't actually relevant. Okay?
On the behind the scenes is that my player just got unstowed into that chart, and we had real-time created everything for this player. So you will see his body is attached to the player. You will see his mobi-glass, his head with all his customizations, his undersuit, and then all his customizations as well on the undersuit.
Yep.
What you also see is that this player just got unstowed and attached to a static zone object container. And this is how our zone system works. Basically, on the server, you will see 3 different zones, purple, green, and red. And each zone comes with its own coordinate system and its own physical grid. And this is how we actually, on live, do zone transitions between your ship, empty space, space station, or a planet. And you will see, as I walk between those zones.
Now, part of me thinks this is something that, you know, get your start typing COP in chat, because when he says that, knowing what I know now from later on, these are object containers, which is how they do, like, oh, I was in space and now I'm in a ship, or oh, I was in my ship and now I'm on a planet, right? So you're changing the object containers. But it sounds to me like that gives the option for a ship to be a server. Now, potentially, which is something they've always talked about for really big battles. Okay? So heavy, like Copium Galaxy level stuff, way down the line, but theoretically possible.
I will, at real time, update it in that entity graph. And this all happens seamless. So for a client, this is completely transparent. You don't notice that. But this is actually what's happening when you step in or out into a ship. And this is very unique to our engine. No other engine has this zone system, and that allows us to do all the amazing stuff you saw in the videos before, transitioning in and out of planets and go from the smallest scope to the largest scope.
Yeah, this is how they did all that. But this is old stuff so far. This is all the stuff we've had for years.
We do in a shot.
Nothing new.
This is like a mini level, like the mini PU level, is also persisted in this database. When we create new entities in our engine, in Star Engine, those entities get pushed into our entity graph, into our online database at real time, and then from there replicated to our clients. So if I go ahead and spawn a couple of plushies here, you will
World of Warcraft and other MMOs had server meshing since 20 plus years. I played Ultima Online. Yeah. But watch the demo, and I think you'll see the difference between the two. I've never played WoW, so I don't know what WoW's server meshing is like, but I know what Ultima Online's server meshing was like. And we would use server lines, and we would abuse them because you would hop between them and cause people to like lose you. You would lose people by using the server lines and stuff because they are they basically, it wasn't a smooth transition, right? So yeah, I guess somebody else is confused. Apparently WoW uses phasing, but Ultima Online was like, there were server lines and I can see on the other side of the line, and yeah. So I don't know. I think that was the closest thing to what I'm looking at now.
See, they spawn, they get created immediately on my entity graph.
I don't know.
And replicated on the server and on the client.
I think Dual Universe does have similar tech.
Spawn a couple more here. And you see this, the pengus I spawn in the other zone get attached to the other zone. And then if I go and transition one of those, they will also transition between the different zones.
Which is crazy, and you could
and
see
the same
them on the other
for
side.
Ships or more complex entities. If I spawn this buggy here, you will see.
And it's only crazy when he tells us what purple, green, and red means. Right now, it's essentially everything we already have.
This one gets created with all its attachments and everything else attached to it. And this is just my small demo level here. On live, we have up to 600,000 dynamic entities that get created for one single chart. And this is just the initial
state.
Sorry
for the spoilers.
After 2 weeks, 3 weeks of gameplay, when you guys go in and destroy stuff, spawn stuff, play around, it goes in the millions of entities. So this in itself is pretty amazing tech. The next time I want to talk about is our streaming system. Most engines do stream on texture or geometry. We actually stream entities, and we do stream persistent entities.
Okay.
So when I turn on the streaming system here, and I walk into
I got my crying out yesterday.
If I walk over to the red area, you will see that the purple area will stream out together with all the entities on that server. So it does not only stream out on my client, it actually streams out on that server. And when I come back to the green zone,
this is a recap from yesterday,
that
guys.
purple
Recap
zone
from
streams
yesterday.
back in with all the entities in there with their full persistent state. So now I have a second player joined. Benoit is going to join me.
Yeah. So far,
Ben,
I believe all he's said is this is server-side OCS. So when I go to the red, the purple can stream out. When I go to the purple, the red can stream out. So, for example, if I'm the only player on a server and I am at Orison, the only thing that will be streamed in on the entire server is Crusader, right? So he's he's showing what we already know. And I believe from this point forward is more of the what we don't know. So basically what will happen is on a server, and what he just demoed in case you didn't know, is the reason Star Citizen runs so fucking bad is that the server has to simulate an entire star system right now. Because there are so many with 100 players on a server, somebody's at every location that needs to be streamed in. So every station is streamed in, every moon is streamed in, and every planet is streamed in for the most part on every server that has 100 players on it, right? So people are playing and things are the server is getting bogged down as people are doing things because they're going places. All right. What he showed is if you're the only person on a server, the server will go, oh, you're here? Well, I don't need to simulate anything in the places you aren't or other players aren't. So I just turn those off and I just ignore those. And that's basically what he was showing, okay? We don't see the fruits of that labor because we don't have what's coming next, which is what he's going to show here, okay? And what the colors represent.
Join, okay, I think you see him over there. Hey, Ben.
The server knows where the player is by knowing where the player is. And what is this, that missile thing?
Sorry. Nice. All right, I'm going to spawn a couple more penguins here. Because the next thing I want to talk about is new technology we are right now developing and we are about to put on the tech preview for you to play. And this is actually the replication layer split.
So this is all new now.
And that's the big next step in our great vision, obviously, as you might know. So in this demo, my client and my servers, they are no longer directly connected. Actually, I have a new service running here, and that is our replication service.
Oh, now I'm kind of in the way, but
so
not
my
really.
client is connected to this replication service, and my server is connected to this replication service. And the replication service, the sole purpose is to get all the entities which are in the entity graph and stream them to clients and servers which are connected to.
Yeah, it's just a console he's pressing some buttons on.
And what's really cool about this is, let's do a little experiment here. I mean, you all know our game has bugs. It's still alpha, and sometimes things can happen.
I don't know. If you guys don't know, it's an alpha.
So let's see what's happening when I kill my server here. And so this is my server, the actual console. So let's just shut it down.
I still think that alpha emote of me is incredibly funny.
Yes, this is where you would usually see a 30K or something. You can see Benoit kind of froze there.
This is exactly what a 30K looks like.
And the buggy does a bit weird stuff. I can shoot those pingus, but the world is really in a frozen state right now.
Okay.
But
and this is when everybody types
because I'm
30K,
connected to the replication
30K
layer
question mark?
not to the server anymore. In the meantime, I'm
Hey,
just starting a new server.
Hartlzora.
Be a bit patient for it.
Thank you.
Should come back online in a second.
Right? We all type 30K? 30K?
And as you can see, now that the server came back, it restored the state.
Possibly the end of a 30K.
It restored the state, and the simulation just continues to work as before.
Now again,
this will be.
I have some serious concerns with this. Serious concerns. If you've played the game today, what could happen during a 30K is the server will crash, and if you wait, so if your server crashes and you wait, let's say 30 minutes to an hour, that's how long you have to wait today, you can log back into Star Citizen and be on the server that you were last on. So in 3.18, 3.19, I've told this story plenty of times, but it is the perfect story, and I even know that the clips were shared around the CIG offices, and I'm sure the guys who are talking right now saw that clip and thought that this was incredible, because I got some words back about it. I was mining with some friends. We found an incredible Quantanium rock, 120,000 mass Quantanium rock, filled with Quantanium, millions of credits, right? So we got 4 moles. We set up forever, and it took forever to set up. We break it. We do the initial break, and then the server 30Ks after the break. We lost it. Everything's gone, right? No. I had a Manscaped sponsorship that day. So I have to do a 30-minute Manscaped sponsorship in between, because I had to do like multiple segments. So I waited 30 minutes, did the segment, logged back in, back on the same server. Not at the location, but back on the same server. And we knew approximately where the rock was because it was close to an outpost. We fly there, literally. Every single stone was in the same spot. Every ship was in the same spot. The fucking gadget that was on the rock was still on the ground flashing, right? The difference between this and that is a lot of time, because we had to wait 30 plus minutes, okay? We had to wait 30 plus minutes for that server to spin back up. He's just showing this in the tiniest little example of this tiny little level. So it turned back on right away. So if I was to ask a question to them at the event, if I was there, I would be like, hey, Paul, that was absolutely amazing. I got one question. How fast are we going to move from a 30K server to a new one? Right? Because my assumption is is that they're going to have servers waiting, and the replication layer has to, but this replication layer still has to propagate that server with all that information. And everything that I've heard leading up to this point is PES does take a long time to put all the things where all the things need to go. So I don't think it's going to be instantaneous. That's my concern. So I would love to know where that's at. But I think what everybody's saying is it's just sitting on the replication layer and the server just communicates to it. So if it's just a few seconds like we saw today, and they can you know, prove that to me in a bigger simulation, I'm sold. And I'm still sold, okay? Just to be clear. But I do have my little worries of like, well, what if I have to wait a few minutes? What if I have to wait 10 minutes, right? Because you don't want your game session to be hurt that much. If you're just struggling a little bit for a few seconds and then a new server pops up and everything's good, I mean, holy, what a difference, right?
Again, this is very early tech.
That'll be answered on the 31st.
But this
probably
is a great benefit of what we have with our replication layer split. But there's one more thing.
Yeah, this is the big stuff.
And let's try this thing again. I just killed my server, and I'm trying to do that again. But this time, we're doing something different. So let's first go in here.
So Benoit's jumping to show when the server dies.
This is my development tool. I can talk about it in a second. So let's stop that server again.
Okay, Benoit's dead. Server's dead.
Restart. And this will take a little bit. I'm running this tool you see here. This is our internal development tool.
See, this will take a little bit.
This tool runs the entire stack of our game on this PC. This is obviously for development only, and I can do that with my small test level. But this really helps online devs and all people who work on the incredible, complicated tech we hear to be able to develop our game.
With an actual server much faster. I hope so.
And because I run everything on this PC,
I do. I really do.
So let's wait and see what's happening here.
Day 2 starting in about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours.
All right. Simulation continues. I can see Ben moving again. Hey, Ben. However, what just happened?
What just happened?
Well, as you can see on my screen, I no longer have one server connected. I have 3 servers connected to this replication layer. So what you guys see here, this is the very first version of a working server mesh.
It's real, guys. It's real.
All right. So now I'm going to explain a little bit how this magic works, because it is truly magic. Each server, when it came up,
this is when my mind was blown.
And the replication layer realized there are 3 servers. We assigned different zones to those servers, and we said, okay, server 1, you are the authority over the purple area. Server 2, you are the authority over the green area. And the last server is authoritative over the red area. You can still see that those servers have all those entities replicated, but only the entities within their zone are actually authoritative on that server. So
and when I started losing my mind is if you look right here, there's 1 Pico, 2 Pico, 3 Pico, 4. 1 Pico, 2 Pico, 3 Pico behind it, 4. So they are in one server. They're on the green server right here, looking into the purple server, and they can see everything in the other server. So the other thought process of like long term, when I'm thinking about will I be able to see my friends at a landing zone on another server? I possibly could. Will I be able to fight against another big ship and have big battles where multiple servers have to be the authority over it, possibly, right? So those kind of things are something that I was like, whoa, I'm really starting to get excited by this, right?
I'm in this green zone at the moment. My entity is simulated on that green server and just replicated on the other server. And now, as I transition between those zones,
right, and then he just walks over to purple.
You will see that on that green server, I just lost authority, and on that purple server, I just gained authority. And because my player was replicated on both servers, this completely works seamless. And again, let's do that a couple of times. You see on my client here, I don't notice anything of that. This all happens behind the scene. And this
pretty cool.
Doesn't work only on me. Let's turn on the zone colors and the object, the authority assignment on the client as well. You can see that even entities, as they transition into the other zone,
turn to green, right?
Seamlessly transition to that zone.
Pretty cool.
And not only that, I can also interact with entities that are on the other side. So if I go
all talking to the replication layer
zone, for example, and I shoot this, I can still shoot that purple entity. And
how do we know these are two different servers? Are you a flat earther, man?
I can also just go ahead and destroy that buggy which sits on that other zone.
We don't, you know?
There you go.
We gotta trust me, bro,
up, right?
On this stuff.
All right. So there's more to this. The first thing I will do, let's spawn a fresh buggy. I just destroyed my old one. When I go into this buggy,
sources, I made it the fuck up.
I will become part of the aggregate, and that means that now my buggy and myself will transition authority together. And this is how we make sure that my player, while he's driving this buggy, is always authoritative on the same server. So you can see, as I drive around with this buggy between the zones, I will switch between the different servers.
So impressive. It's so scary to trust CIG, though. It is.
But there's more to this. So remember when I turned on the streaming earlier? The same streaming mechanics work here as well. Like, obviously, in this example right now, you can see all those servers, they have all those entities replicated. And it's a little bit wasteful because you have 3 servers, all need to replicate all those entities. And that's where streaming comes into play. I can turn on streaming here, and you will see that suddenly my purple server no longer has the red area streamed in. And the red server no longer has the purple area streamed in. So let's see what's happened when I drive my buggy backwards into that into the red zone. What happens on that purple server? And I just disappear. So right now, on this server, there's only Benoit replicated. And Benoit, if you come to me over in the red area, you will see that now on this server, there's no client at all. And in theory, we could now complete.
Okay, so now I understand why somebody said in chat, I would like to see what this is like if they were further away from each other. Now I think I know why. Because it's very easy to see like these are all really close and they're doing that for the demo. But if you're further away from each other, you just won't see each other anyway. So it doesn't really, I don't know. Does it really play into it? Does it matter? I don't know. Did I see the player transitioning? On what screen was I supposed to be looking? Because I looked down here and I saw them disappearing on the purple server because that's where he told me to go, you know? But I don't know where I was supposed to be looking there to see a transition. Yeah, I saw him disappear. Top left, I mean, they've been showing that transition multiple times. Did it suffer? Did it get scuffed a little bit? Excuse me. I tried to hold that sneeze back.
And the red server no longer has the purple area streamed in. So let's see
I don't know
what's
what you want me
happened
to see.
when
So
I
I'll take a look
drive
again.
my buggy backwards into that into the red zone. What happens on that purple server?
Okay, he's
And
red.
I just disappear. So right now, on this server, there's only Benoit replicated. And Benoit, if you come to me over in the red area,
here? He's going to be here, right?
you will see that now on this server, there's no client at all. And in theory, we could now completely stream out the entire area on that server, or stream in a new area.
He means for Benoit, he disappears.
And you will also
No, you're not understanding that at all. Benoit was in green. Benoit can still see red. Nobody was in purple. Purple can no longer see red.
see, as I drive back into the green area, I will magically reappear on that purple server. And this obviously works on the other side.
Benoit stutters as he crosses the line.
Let's get a couple more player join. You will see that now on this server, there's no client at all.
Yeah.
In theory, we could now completely stream out the entire area on that server, or stream in a new area.
Doesn't stutter on the way back, though. Show it again. All right, hold up. See it?
You will see that. You will see that now on this server, there's no client at all. And in theory, we could now completely stream out the entire area on that server, or stream in a new area.
Proof it's actual server meshing for the flat earthers? Yeah.
And you will also see, as I drive back into the green area, I will magically reappear on that purple server.
Bro, calm down. You guys are typing so fast.
And this obviously works on the other side as well. Let's get a couple more player join. I have a couple more QA.
I also heard it really stuttered when more people joined.
The whole thing running at live.
But again, it's all on one PC,
running
right?
Live with a bit more things going on.
Also, I thought, I cannot remember his name, but the guy that's right here is lead QA in LA. He was on my team in 2016 when we debuted Star Marine. Vincent Sinatra, I think is his name. Fucking badass. From Philly. Always wears this Flyer shit. Fuck the Flyers. Let's go Rangers. But I love you. You're the man.
Let me get out of this buggy. And you will see on each server renderer which clients are currently replicated on those servers and which clients are actually authoritative on those servers. And you can see this, the green server, because it's the middle one, has most entities replicated. And then you can see this purple one at the moment only has one client replicated. Yeah.
So they're trying. So somebody from red is shooting at them in green.
So yes, this is pretty much it.
Who's in purple? We can't see in purple.
I hope you guys enjoyed this. It has been a long time to come to this point.
And this is when he gets emotional. I'm already getting emotional.
I just can't put in words how much tech.
Again, 11 years. 11 years this poor fucking guy has been trying to get to this point. 11, right?
And work we had to put into this. Big shout outs to the network team. Big shout outs to the online services team. Big shout outs to Chris to let us doing this.
Yeah, Chris had to put faith in them, right? Chris had to believe that what they said they can do, they could do. And they did it. Potentially. We need it first.
A really long journey to get to this point.
We need to see it working with us.
I've got to say, the team has done an amazing job. They've been working diligently for...
But I refuse to be so skeptical that I refuse to be so skeptical to say that this isn't an amazing milestone, right? I refuse to be that skeptical. Absolutely refuse to. And I still you know, don't believe server meshing exists until it's on my computer, right? For me to play with. But I refuse to be so skeptical to say that that didn't happen, that was faked or whatever. I don't know English. Cynical, skeptical, it doesn't matter. You know what I mean, okay? I refuse to be that salty to be like, that wasn't important. That wasn't good. We didn't need to see that, you know? That was exactly a defining moment, a milestone, all those things.
For the last 4 or 5
I refuse to be that way.
False starts.
That would be
we finally
fake.
have an incredible, I mean, the way the replication layer works and how we can spin up servers and down and keep the state constant, even if a server goes down, is, I think, a genius design. And the first time I saw this, about 3 weeks ago, working fully, I cried. It's like giving birth.
We did it. It's not even like giving birth. Like, imagine all the hate, whether it was from me or it was from the overall gaming community. Imagine all the hate of them saying you couldn't fucking do this. I mean, I guess we have to emote Chris's face right now, right? And maybe put some fake tears or something. Or can we get a little closer? You know?
About 3 weeks ago, working fully, I cried.
I don't know. I'll pause it as many moments so you guys can emote it as best.
Like,
there it is. I got it. There we go. We got it. Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
giving birth.
We did it. And then Benoit.
And we wouldn't have been able to do this and work on this kind of tech without all your support.
So excited.
That's right.
Benoit
You guys
and your trust.
allowing us to take the time to do it right, to really build it. So thank you.
Thank you, guys.
So much for everyone, and thank you everyone at CIG that's really worked hard to deliver all this amazing stuff that will be
If I
either
was
in your
Chris, I
hands
wouldn't have been
now
able to
or in
hold
your
it
hands
together.
very soon.
I would have been hugging
And this
and
is just
crying
the
all over
beginning
the place.
of Citcon. We got a lot more stuff to show you.
Yeah.
That's what we need for this
Right.
MMO, guys.
And
That's
then
what we
Benoit,
need.
Let's go. Let's fucking go.
Great demo, by the way. Good.
He's so hyped,
Great.
dude.
Come on, give me a-
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
I don't know yet. You know, we still need so much before we're there, but my God, was that a milestone, right? And that was the nothing at Citcon is going to be bigger than that for me. Not a single thing. That is the biggest thing that could possibly have happened. Everybody is saying you haven't seen anything yet for today. There's nothing that can be better than what I just saw. In terms, like, no matter how simple it was, how controlled the situation was, nothing can be more important than that is. Squadron 42 release date, don't care. Didn't ask. I bought the PU. I paid for the PU. Squadron 42 was icing on the top. That's it. I pledged for the PU. I don't give a shit about Squadron 42. Will I play it? Yes. Did I play Wing Commander? Yes. I loved Wing Commander. But what have I put all my time and energy and focus into? The PU, right? And that was the moment for the PU. The moment for Squadron 42 could happen today. But the moment for the PU happened yesterday, and we just watched it again today, and nothing, well, crafting would do it, but I don't think we're going to see crafting today, right? So crafting would do it for me, but guys, my copium tanks are refilled. I'm sure I will sprinkle salt in them slowly but surely, and they will be filled with salt over the next year or the next 12 months or so. Like we heard earlier today. But, yeah, we need this stuff on our computer. That's it. We need this stuff on our computer, and that's really all it's going to take at this point.